And Josh Pate, he of the late kick with Josh Pate, is in the Little Apple. And what a performance by Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas this afternoon. Josh, this game was supposed to be close. This was like only the second time these two teams had met when they were both ranked in the AP Top 25. The spread was really close. It wasn't close. And Kansas State didn't even have their starting quarterback. What was it like to witness this in person?
Well, it made me feel a little unsure of myself, Russ, if you want me to be perfectly honest, because I also expected a really close game. We could have gone to Happy Valley today. We could have gone elsewhere, but I thought this game here, as is usually the case in the Big 12, and especially, Russ, when you have a point spread of 1.5, it just screams to you fourth quarter, last possession, whoever has the ball, possibly overtime. And instead, right from the jump, it's just body blow, KO. And unlike most times when Oklahoma State's on the field, you got one team build a lead, another team comes back. There was no coming back today. And Will Howard started this game for Kansas State. One of the big talking points that we sat here in the pregame and discussed is Adrian Martinez. If he doesn't start for Kansas State, what happens? Well, what happens is you have your backup throw for nearly 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Just let him up and down the field all afternoon. Deuce Vaughn had a career day, 22, 23 carries, I believe. Had some action in the passing game, too. It was just a complete and thorough splattering. And it's an adjective I save only for the most lopsided of finals. And this 48-0 score here is a lopsided final.
Right, so what happens to the thought process now in Oklahoma State? They come in as a top 10 team in the country. First of all, how far do you think they're going to fall? Are they going to fall out of the top 25, losing like this on the road? And what does it do for Kansas State now moving forward?
Well, let's talk about the winner first. For Kansas State, it thrusts them right into the middle of the Big 12 championship race, which, let's be real, they already were a part of. But, Russ, I think a lot of people, your boy here included, had circled this date when Oklahoma State was going to come to town. And we were basically asking ourselves, okay, do we start taking them seriously as a potential Big 12 championship contender now, or do we wait and see how they handle that game? Because, you know, they already lost to TCU, so let's see how they handle that game. Well, they handled it with flying colors today. Now, Texas comes in here next week, and so you got Texas, you got Baylor. They got 4 games left. We got a month left in the season. But right now, with one conference loss, there sits Kansas State. Seems like everyone's preseason sleeper, and for once in the history of the sport, everyone's preseason sleeper is actually delivering on expectation. As for Oklahoma State, I think they'll plummet. I don't know if it'll be outside the top 25. I think they'll plummet. I actually pulled a swerve here and went to Mike Gundy's postgame presser. This was so emphatic, I actually wanted to know what he had to say. And, Russ, it was really interesting because he was really upfront and he admitted, I tried some things this week in practice that failed. And when the assembled media there, the beat for Oklahoma State, pushed him, he said, I don't want to get into specifics, but I was concerned with our depth to the point where we did some things in practice. And if you read between the lines, what he's telling you is he had some healthy scratches in practice this week. They probably held guys out because they didn't want to get him nicked up. Well, in the process, he didn't get him prepared, which he himself admitted. And so he gave all the credit to Kansas State, but said, we had no shot today. I mean, I didn't get this team prepared. Now, that doesn't change what the record book says. What it may change moving forward, if there's validity to what Mike Gundy said, is maybe we don't quite write that team off for dead, because right now, 2 losses. Yeah, Russ, it looks like you're on the outside looking in, but like I said, still a month of play left, and this is the most competitively balanced league in America right now. So Oklahoma State, for all we know, is still in it. But they got to be in it by getting back to work tomorrow and Monday and making sure this doesn't happen again.
You know, and that actually leads me into the last question, because right now TCU's that team at the top, unbeaten in conference play. Who's next in the Big 12? Who has the best chance to overtake TCU, maybe take them out?
Well, we've seen both of these teams face TCU already. We've seen both of these teams build big leads on TCU already. And remember now, Kansas State most recently played TCU and built a 28-10 lead, and then their starting quarterback went down, and Will Howard came in, got his feet wet for what he was about to do today, as it turns out. As of the moment, Russ, and please write this in pencil, but as of the moment, I would say Kansas State. I still think, though, that it can't be repeated enough that I think a lot of folks were trying to paint this game as a do-or-die game today, and I kind of resisted that because I don't think 2 losses has you out of the conference championship picture. And we also saw last year, Baylor, for example, won the Big 12 last year. They had the second to worst preseason odds. to win the Big 12. And so this was what the Big 12 was about last year. It's what it's going to be about this year. And you could the Philadelphia Phillies are doing this in Major League Baseball right now. Any one of these teams who just happens to be there, still drawing breath at the end, could end up taking this thing. But right now, TCU, and then I absolutely believe what we saw today was an announcement up and down the Big 12 that we're Kansas State, and it doesn't really matter who's starting at quarterback. We're for real.
Yeah, we didn't exactly get the close game all of us were expecting in Manhattan, Kansas today. But, hey, there is joy in the Little Apple because Kansas State ran roughshod over Oklahoma State. Josh Pate, thank you so much. And if you want more of the good stuff, check out The Late Kick with Josh Pate. You'll get all the behind-the-scenes whispers with intel from a network of college football insiders. It's The Late Kick with Josh Pate. You can get it wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.